Alright guys, so it's time to put the brake booster back in. I still have to drill the hole right here for the clutch pedal. I am currently 3D printing the bracket. I still have to paint the top. I definitely need to swap out that fluid. We're gonna leave that in there for a little bit. We're gonna flush everything, the system out later, but I'm gonna install it just the way it is right now. Alright guys, so always keep in mind, if you're going to disconnect any type of brake lines, just like this, I disconnected these brake lines off of the ABS module, you're always going to have to bleed the whole systems. If you ever get any of this brake fluid stuff on you, you should wash it off right away. That's why I went ahead and put some of these gloves on, because it is nasty stuff. You shouldn't leave it on your paint either. It will strip your paint back, and you'll know if you left it on there too long, because you'll see everything start to rust away. Alright guys, so now it's time to install this brake pedal, and I have done it once so I could explain to you exactly what's going on. If you remove the brake pedal and you leave the top of the mount on there, and I'm going to show you in a second what it looks like, you're going to need to press down or up on this lever right here, because this part sits on a lip on a bracket inside there. So you're going to have to push this up and slide it into place. This is the bracket I am talking about, and you can see there's a lip up here, right here. Okay, that's the part where you're going to pull up on the lever and you're going to push forward, and the bolt sits right there. Now that I'm here underneath here, let me show you the clutch pedal, and right on top of this clutch pedal I'm installing a bolt with a new bracket to support the whole thing, because there is only 2 bolts here. There's 2 nuts that hold everything into place, and there's supposed to be a bracket holding the top of this. And I'm going to show you really quick on the 370Z what it looks like. Alright, so let's take a peek in this Z. Here we go. So I'm here underneath the 370Z. It's a manual. The pedals look the same. Let's take a peek underneath. You can see this is the manual pedal on the 370Z. There's a bolt up there. So that's the bolt I am going to run. I measured the distance between the clutch pedal and the brake pedal, and on the 370Z there is more space. And I don't know if it's because the other vehicle was an automatic and this is a manual. I pretty much centered the clutch in between a wiring harness and the brake booster, and I centered it as best as I could, and I actually have it scoot over as far to the left as possible. But in the 370Z there's more space right here, and we're gonna take a peek inside here. There's the brake booster. Everything looks exactly the same. So here we're back at the G, and like I was saying, it looks exactly the same. The 370Z and the G37 bring the same exact engine. So it's basically the same exact thing. Just one chassis looks like this and it's Infiniti, and the other chassis looks like that and it's Nissan. Oh, and of course the G37 brings rear seats. So it is a little bit longer, but overall it's the same car. So last time I installed this pedal, it fought me, but now I know the trick, like I was explaining to you guys with this. Let's see what happens this time. And you're thinking, man, that looks uncomfortable. It is, guys. There is better ways in how to spend your time than laying on your back upside down. You have to be completely insane to call this a hobby. And I guess I am insane, but it is not fun right now. It's hot, it's Florida weather, hot, and it's uncomfortable. All right guys, so I'm finishing up the final piece of the puzzle, and this is the 3D printed part. The manual swap is going to be pretty much done after this. I'm going to use a little bit of super glue inside here just to hold things together. So we're all set. Let's go install it. All right guys, so here's what we got. I put the bolt in. It is secured now. It is time to paint this top piece right here so I can put the windshield wiper motor back on. But let me show you in the inside. Alrighty, so here we are in the inside, and right in there, you can see all the way in the top, there's a bolt that's holding the top of the bracket. So everything is secured now. I have the yaw sensor here, and the yaw sensor used to sit right here. You can see there's 2 bolts, and it used to sit right there, but now the e-brake is interfering with it. I plugged it in, there's the wire, and you can see the e-brake is gonna be interfering with it. All right guys, so in case you were wondering what the heck is a yaw sensor, let me try to explain this as best as possible. So I have the scan tool connected here, and I am under the ABS module, okay? I'm in the brake system. So the yaw sensor is connected directly to the brake system. And how does it work? Well, it senses if it's in a flat level or not, okay? So you can see I have it disconnected, and if I just slightly tap on it, you can see there's readings here. I'm gonna lean it to the left, there's values. I'm gonna lean it to the right, there's some more values, okay? This sensor is very sensitive. What it's sensing is acceleration, braking, if the car's on a tilt, if it's to the left, to the right, it's reading all of that information. And what it does with it is it decides, the system has a program, and it decides whether or not you're in danger or not. So when this is working properly, what will happen is if there's some type of, you're going sideways, you're accelerating too much, or you're starting to skid out of control, it takes this information with the information from your wheel speed sensors, and it determines whether or not to brake the car or decelerate the car. That's right, it takes power away, so you would not be in danger. So with all the young guys, my son included, Chris has disabled his yaw sensor, and what that gives him the ability to do is he could drift his car now. Before, you could take off traction control, and traction control just does a small portion of it, but when you eliminate the yaw sensor, you disabled it, it lets you slide the car a lot better. It's able to break loose and go sideways. We are working on connecting his yaw sensor with a kill switch, so when he wants to drift, he could disable it, but when he's driving it normal, it should always be connected. It's there for a reason. The car has been completely engineered to drive with this. I would not disable it and drive in the road as a daily driver. Only do it if you're going to be on the track or you're going to break it loose sideways. Disable it and then enable it again. I would never recommend you driving the car without it on. If you relocate it, just make sure it's in the center of the car, the same way they have it installed, and it's facing in the right direction. You could go a couple of inches forward, a couple of inches back, but I would never recommend you putting it to the right side, all the way in the right side, all the way to the left side, or even putting it sideways. You know, always keep it flat if you're gonna mess with this stuff. Try to keep it around the same area. And if you notice, they picked a nice flat surface to install it. I don't know where it sits in the manual vehicle, but this is where it sits in the automatic G37. And just to give you guys a good idea in how everything is tied together, I have the front wheel, the front left wheel here, it's up, okay? We are able to spin it, and we're in the same ABS module, and you can see this value right here on this input signal. We're going to be able to spin the wheel, and there's going to be a new value. Okay, so it showed that I went 4 miles per hour, and you can see right here where the signal came in. So what I'm trying to say is, if you disable this, the whole system is thrown out of whack. So you guys can see the exhaust came in. This is actually a 370Z exhaust, and I'm gonna make it work on that G37. The reason why I went with the 370Z exhaust is, well, in eBay you could pick this up for 300 bucks. I installed it on the 370Z already. I like the tone, I like how it sounds. The one in eBay for this car is 900 bucks. So the difference is there is a section of a piece that I have to either purchase or make. And also for the yaw sensor, you can see I have a bracket that I made. I made it out of acrylic. It's holding it secure in place, and it's ready to rock and roll. So this is what the clutch line looks like. Okay, apparently right on the transmission there's a broken bolt, so I cannot mount the bracket that holds this line right onto the transmission, so I have to extract that bolt out. I got to do that next. And I have these 2 wires hanging. Those are for the O2 sensors, and of course there is no exhaust yet. So I have a little bit still to go before I could run it and drive it and test it out. I have a surprise. So it's not a good thing, it's a bad thing, but we're making it work. I had to drop the transmission on the G37. After all that progress I made, there's something that happened. Now, it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but we're getting the job done. So let's go ahead and show you what the hell happened. So right here in front of me, I have a collection of slave cylinders. There's some that work, and there's some that ain't worth a shit. Now let me explain. This one is a brand new slave cylinder. It's the OEM, brand spanking new, and when I installed it and I started bleeding the system, it decided to blow out the plug right here. So not even a couple of seconds into the bleeding process, it blew out the seal. Let me show you what that seal or the plug looks like. You see, this one is a good use one, and when I purchased the transmission, it came with this installed. I should have left this in there, but I decided to go ahead and replace it because it would last longer than I figured, but I guess I figured wrong. Now I know what you're thinking. Why the hell did you go with the stock one if they're known to fail? Let me explain. In the time of doing this whole manual swap, you couldn't find any good aftermarket upgrades for this. Jim Wolf doesn't have one in stock. Z1 does not have one in stock. There is none. You could only get the OEM or a cheap eBay one, and I was not installing a cheap eBay one because if you see the 370Z video that I have going on, you can see exactly what happened to the throwout bearing. Completely came apart. One of my viewers mentioned to me that he went with a Z-Speed slave cylinder, so I was not aware of Z-Speed. So I went on their website, I gave them a call, and they told me, hey, we're gonna have them in stock tomorrow. There's a shipment coming in. So I went ahead and ordered it. I have to say, this slave cylinder looks heavy duty. It really does look like it's well built. I have no experience with Z-Speed. I'm pretty sure this is good, but I will let you know. So here we have it once again. It's ready to go back in. This is going to be the second try. Hopefully now with this heavy duty slave cylinder, we are all set to go. It looks really good. It was easy to install, pretty straightforward. The only thing I did a little bit different, and I added this, it doesn't come with this piece right here. I installed this hose to insulate that line. It sits right against this transmission. It probably did not need it. The hoses are pretty heavy duty, but just in case, I'm insulating that hose so it doesn't rub and cause a leak later on. And this is what it looks like in the outside of the transmission. Very easy to install. That's for the bleeder, and the other line is right here. All right, so we are ready to start installing the exhaust. These are the test pipes. And here I have one of the rear mufflers. So this exhaust that I picked, this is for a 370Z. It's the same exact exhaust that I put in the Z, and we're putting it in the G37. So this is the exhaust it has. This is on the Z, and it sounds pretty good to me. So we're gonna run it on the G37. Alright, so we have the downpipes completely wrapped, and this is what they're looking like. And I am going to attempt to seal it because I want to protect this fiberglass mat right here. And also when I'm servicing the car, I really don't want to get all that fiberglass on me for obvious reasons. And so I'm going to be using this high temp silicone paint to seal the wrap. So let's see how it works. Alright guys, so let's check this out. Look at everything has been installed. Everything has been routed. Everything is ready to go. Look at the master cylinders installed. Everything is good. I have the air filters installed. I didn't have that installed before. And it's looking more like a car now. The engine bay looks good. Everything has been painted. You can see, looks nice and new, shiny. Even though it's a little dirty, it's still shiny. Engine bay came out really, really nice. I'm happy with that. So I am missing the battery cover. I'm getting ready to order it from eBay. I have to still get that to cover that up. But everything else, it's in place and it's ready to go. So another thing that I did is install the exhaust. It is on there. It's ready. So you can see how it looks. So for the exhaust, I'm missing the gasket. I just ordered it. I do have a small exhaust leak because of it. As soon as it gets here, I'll install it. But let's go ahead and start the car. And you can see everything has been converted over. Here is the shifter, the e-brake. We have a clutch pedal. And she runs. Like I said, there's an exhaust leak. I'm getting ready to work on that. Once that gasket gets in, I'll fix that. But she is running. I just wanted to share this with you guys. Look how well this engine idles. It's very smooth. It's not choppy at all. So I'm just trying to show you guys how nice it's idling. Okay, so we're in the car. Everything works. We're gonna just go down for a little spin. Let me lower that window back there. So we're just gonna go for a little spin. We're not gonna go too far. We're just gonna go up and down the driveway and down the street a little bit just to show you everything works. I ordered a new shift knob. There is no shift knob, so it's kind of difficult shifting right now, but there's a new shift knob coming. I still have to work on all the dash. Everything has to get pulled out and be repaired. Currently right now, as it stands, the clutch pedal feels great, but the brakes, I still haven't bled the brakes and it's still a little soft, so I have some air in there. I have to bleed everything since I had to remove the booster and everything to get everything installed. So yeah, let's just go down the driveway and see that the e-brake works. Okay, we're actually moving, and we're going down the driveway right now. And we just scraped the exhaust. This car is very low to the ground. So here, we're stopped. I'm in reverse. We got reverse. We have first. Okay. We have second. We have third. Okay. And so on and so forth. So I'm not gonna go too far because this car is not registered. I'm gonna put it in reverse, but everything seems to be working great. The clutch feels fine. I still have to break it in, of course. Yeah, so next is working on the body of this thing. And right now I have no power steering. Like I was saying, it's leaking. It's a little stiff unless you're moving. If you've driven a car without power steering, you would know what I'm talking about. Unless you're moving, you really can't turn the steering wheel. So that's gonna get repaired. I'm getting the parts from Z1, those little washers, because that is my go-to place. All right, so the bite point on the clutch, it seems about right. You can see right here, I'm not going backwards, I'm clutched in. The bite point feels right, feels good. The clutch is engaging. I could go up the driveway without accelerating. That much noise. I guess it's because, you know, I have the stock clutch on there. And it feels right. It feels good right now. So I'm happy. I'm happy how everything has turned out. So here's everything that's left to do. I have to clean the interior. It looks really rough. I mean, it looks like someone's been, I don't know, they were dancing on top of here. Something's filthy, completely filthy. I have to redo the dash. I have some seats. I'll show you that in a second for this. Okay, and of course I have to do the body because the body has little dings, has little scratches. Everything's gonna get painted. You can see this big ding right here. I'm gonna try to push that out and repair that. Gonna be doing everything, all the outside. We got to get some wheels, and I want to get some coilovers. We're gonna get some coilovers. I am not happy with the cut springs on this. That's bullshit. So you can see there's a lot of damage on the body. Overall, the car looks pretty straight. If you can see, just that ding on the door, a little bit of waviness, but it's nothing too crazy. You know, something that I could repair fairly easy with some filler and a block sander. So it's not too bad. The body looks pretty good. I'm gonna buff out these headlights and see how they look. If they still look kind of rough, I'll get new headlights. But the car has really come together, so very happy. And of course we have the key that I programmed, so that works pretty good. So this is what I'm going to be working on next on these sparkle seats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to pull the guts from the electric one, the OEM one, so this seat could slide forward and backwards electrically. I'm going to attempt it. I have never done something like that before. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, then I guess I got to buy some tracks, but I think I could make it work. I took a peek at it. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going to eliminate, but I think we could get it to work. So the body work kind of depends on my schedule and what I got going on. So if I have a lot of time, I'll get it done really quick. If I don't, then it's going to take me a little bit of time. So I'm guessing probably 3 or 4 days of full body work and then 1 full day of painting. Now I'll probably chop that up into several videos, but it should take me about a week or so to paint the car. So if you know me personally, you know this is probably my 3rd or 4th car that I have built. The ones that I have built in the past, I never really recorded, and I have no documentation of it pretty much. So since I have no records of all the builds I have done in the past, I kind of want to do the opposite with this one, with all the builds I make from this point on, because I have 2 goals with this YouTube channel. One is to help you guys just in case you don't understand how something works, and I could explain it via a video to help you understand and how to do something, and also to inspire the next generation of builders. I want you guys to look at the channel, look at the builds that I have done, and get inspired to go and make something, go and build something. We are moving into a new age of information where everything is available on the net. It's available on YouTube. So if I could contribute to that, where you guys could watch a video and learn how to do something and repair your car, or even be inspired to build a car, it's a win for me. So that is my goal with this channel, is really to teach and inspire the next generation. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. See ya!